everybody, happy 4th of July. So today we're going to paint this vase with hydrangeas and a flag here. And this is courtesy of Steph Maraca, who is kindly letting us paint this today. So also maybe for Labor Day we can do this in person if somebody wants to. But for now, this is our 4th of July painting. If you're staying home because gas prices are so bad, we'll just stay home and paint. So this one is on a canvas that you can get anywhere. Shipping is really bad. Amazon wasn't too bad, but I noticed the prices are higher. But you can find these now. I found these at Ross. So, I mean, yeah, I found a pack of these for under $20. And these are great for paint parties. And these small easels are on Amazon. They're not too bad, too, if you're home painting with your kids. So, thanks for joining me today if you're staying home. And happy 4th. And today, instead of using canvas, I'm going to use this paper. So I pre-sketched this. If you paint it before, this won't be too hard. So the basic shapes are circles here. So just draw 1, 2, 3, 4 circles and an oval. Doesn't matter how bad it looks right now. And then we can clean it up. And then the flag is over here. So I'm using a very large paper because you can see better here. Heavy tooth paper here. So looks like one of the South Park characters, but just draw a circle on top, one over here, one over here, come down, make a vase. It doesn't have to be pretty at this point. Make a line on the bottom and a circle over here for your flag. The colors we'll be using today are red, it doesn't matter which red, white, blue, and a dark maroon. Oops, sorry, there's a glare from the window where I am. And the brushes that we'll be using today, I'm just gonna use a varnish brush. You can get these at the hardware store. I found these on Amazon in a pack for 50 of them, I think for, anyway, it was an affordable price, but these are really great. You don't have to have a fancy brush. I remember Bob Ross used to use these kind of brushes. And like Bob Ross, I have the recycled can over here. He had a bucket, but I'm using a recycled Coffee Mate can. And I'm all about recycling. So I paint with paper towels, varnish brushes from the hardware store, those little kid stencil brushes, and Q-tips is all we're going to be using today, and some small brushes. And again, thank you, Steph, for letting us use your example, which is my version here, and we should get close to it today. So first, I am going to use the varnish brush here. This is about a 2-inch, whatever the largest brush you have at home, just you can use that. And I'm just going to get it a little bit wet here at the bottom. And I'm going to just dip it in here and then tap it off so it's not dripping. And I'm going to mix a little bit of white with red. And initially, we're just getting color on. We're not worrying about form or anything. So I'm going to start the top hydrangea. Well, I mean, it's imaginary, so I guess we can say this is a hydrangea. I don't know if I've seen any red hydrangeas, but they're kind of pinkish. These are patriotic hydrangeas, so they're going to be red today. So I'm just using a little bit of red that I have. And I even put a little bit of purple maroon I have left over from another project and mix them together. So it's just not too bright red when I'm starting out, and then I'll put the bright red on top. So you can just start going in and dabbing randomly around this top circle that you made. Don't stay in one place too long because flowers are random. They don't look perfect. Try not to touch the flags yet. And we'll go over the top of these later with a Q-tip. Like some of you that painted with me recently. I didn't even know. At the end, we do the Q-tips. So now just randomly put the red and burgundy on here. You might need a little bit more water. It's kind of warm in here today. If you hear background noise, the family's home today, so just ignore that. This is just the get it on here part of the painting. Doesn't matter what it looks like right now. Okay. Now I'm gonna grab a little bit of white on the brush. I like these kind of brushes because you don't use a lot of water and it makes a lot of texture. And just dab it on here on the top and for petals randomly. Okay. I'm gonna get a little bit more water and some burgundy and red and come over to the middle and do the same thing in a circular motion. Okay, so like in this one, this is what we're going for. So the red on the top and then the red flower in the middle. Then I'm going to use a paper towel that's dampened, moistened a little bit. Actually, this is a wet wipe I had, which is easier if you're just doing fast painting. Just wipe your brush off with this paper towel. Okay, after that's all cleaned off, we're going to get some white. And we're going to go to this side now and just make this circle white because we're going to put blue on top. If there's a little bit of red mixed in, that's okay. If you accidentally did that. Because the red and the blue will make a pretty purple if you accidentally did that. And then you can cover up your marker line and just put some white over here. Okay. So now you should have this top part of red and white or your burgundy mixed in, and then two lighter colors over here that on your screen probably look like light pink, but we're going to put blue on top. I'm going to rinse my brush again. And now we're going to go into the blue part. So I'm dipping just the tip of it here in white. I'm mixing fast because it's kind of hot in here and I don't want the paint to dry, so you can slow down the video if you need to, but that's the color blue I have right now, just with the blue, come on camera, with the blue and white there. There we go. So we're just going to make tapping, dabbing motions over here to mimic flowers. It's not perfect yet, or it won't be anyway. Hi, Haley. If you hear background noise, that's okay. You guys know I have a family. So yeah, we're gonna go on the other side with the white and blue and have that on there. It's okay if you accidentally hit the flag because we're gonna go back into that later. So at this point, you should have two bluish circles and two red circles. Now, if you have these stencil brushes, these are good to use because they're round and they're good for making the hydrangea. That's how I did that. Just randomly with these round stencil brushes. If you don't have that, you can use a makeup brush like this or a small flat brush and then just make circles. So whatever you have is fine, or even a bunch of Q-tips. So I'm barely going to use any water. I'm just going to use this round stencil pouncing brush. Or Q-tips. You can put 4 or 5 Q-tips together with a rubber band and do the same thing. And you can turn the water on if you need to because background noise is okay. You're welcome. So I'm just going to get the pouncing stencil brush and put it in the white. Why? And then wipe it off. Why you say because this is the effect that we're trying to get. So just this on your blue circle with the white. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute and you guys just pounce in these. You can put comments in the chat section because I'll upload this later and then I can answer questions while you're painting. And now we're just getting white and blue and going in circles around here with Q-tips or with your makeup brush or just white and blue randomly on here like I have here. Now you can use the edge of it, see the side of it, and then tap lightly. Like I said, don't stay in one place too long. So if you have too much white in one area, just put some more dark blue. If you're running out of paint, you can pause the video. I have a lot on this. Foam plates are better because the paper plates soak up the paint, so use foam. And you can save some for your barbecue too. If you're like me, you're saying, why is the white paint always gone? So you can pause the video and go pour some more white paint on your palette. I'm just using the sides and rolling blue and white together and continuing in a circle until it looks like a hydrangea. I'm going to go on the edges so it looks more like petals, but I'm only using the sides of this. Okay, now I'm gonna pour some more blue, a darker blue, because I'm gonna start in on the flag now while this is drying. And we'll get back to the red part later. So if you have a flat, small brush like this, these are easy to find. You can find these at the dollar store almost. Yeah, you can. Excuse the nails, I'm always painting, they look horrible, but you can use this small flat brush and blue only. And we're gonna go into the corner of the flag. It's impressionistic, so it's not perfect. And we're gonna do the top square left side of the flag first. So put some dark blue on your paint, don't mix it with anything. And we're gonna come into the flag over here and do that first. So we're just making this shape fill in here. I know I was supposed to upload this yesterday, but I ate too much barbecue and I got tired, and some of you reminded me that I was supposed to do this video, so thank you. Okay, so while that's all filled in, while you still have the dark blue on from the flag on there, go back into your hydrangea and make some places where you had too much white. Just tap in the dark blue so it looks like petals, especially on the edges. Actually on the inside, because on the edges would be where sunlight is. So go inside here where it would be darker. I know it's in a vase, but sunlight through a window would still hit the edges, right? Are you guys barbecuing while I'm doing this? We barbecued yesterday and it's delicious. My husband's barbecue is awesome. They do teach live paint parties in San Jose Bay Area. I'm just doing this as a freebie. You can hear people playing video games in the background here. It's okay. No one has Tourette's. It's my husband playing video games. Okay, so your hydrangea should look something like this. Random strokes of white and blue. And now we're going to wipe off our blue again. And if you have it, I would use maroon here and just go into the red hydrangea parts in the middle and make some contrasting circles, little dabs here. I'm just like doing half circles. See, just half circles for petals. And it's amazing how just that adds some depth. Just random red and burgundy. Your flag's still drying. We're gonna touch on that later. Literally touch on that a bit. You can overlap some of this one into the blue because there are flowers that do that and make these awesome colors, right? Like here in America, the cultures overlap and we have all this awesome food and music. And that's what makes America so fun. All the randomness, and we can enjoy each other's food and cultures. And that's what we're celebrating. That's what we should be celebrating. It's not perfect, but there's really no other country where I would like to visit some other countries, but all right, so we're almost done with this here. So yours should look something similar to mine. I accidentally dropped some red here. That's okay. I'm just gonna get a paper towel and wipe that off. And it might become part of the shadow actually. Since I made that mistake. See how easy it is to get some color on here? Your table could be red or whatever. This was an accident. Because I accidentally dropped that red dot there. By the way, this easel was great. It was only $5.99, I think. $5 at Target. So if you're painting with your kids and you need an easel, that's pretty cheap. It's cheaper than gas anyway if you're all painting. Okay, so see, since I accidentally dropped the red there, I'm just using a wet wipe and blending that in for the table. I mean, the one over here was orange and pink. So since that happened, as Bob Ross used to say, happy little accidents. We'll just do the opposite. So the table's going to be red and the background's going to be yellow today since that happened. Okay. So now we're going to wipe our brush off again. I'm running out of red, so I got these red bottles at Ross. Unbelievable. They were a really good deal. Because Michael's by me closed, so. Then I'm going to take a flat, small brush, 2 inches, I think, and put it in water here. Or you can use a Q-tip even. And we're going to do the red part of the flag. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is more impressionistic. I'm not a realistic painter. I like painting. I like impressionism. I admire the realist painters, but that's not me. So I'm going to go into the flag now. So in the example that I did earlier, you see how that is here. So we're just going to randomly red, white, red, white, red, white. That's like this one. It's okay if you touch the blue. It should be dry by now. That's why I like acrylic paint, because if you make a mistake, you can go right back over it. Acrylic paint is the forgiving paint. That's the paint I like. Oil paint, I admire you oil painters, but I don't have the patience. I don't need to learn patience, but at this point, because I use such a heavy marker, I'm going to just put a red line here because I don't like how dark that marker came out, but I just drew it out so you guys could see that, how to do the flag. So just white, red, white, red, red, white. If your red gets into your blue hydrangea, that's okay because it'll be a pretty purple edge that you can go back over. I'm gonna add one more line that's invisible here. That's why I like acrylic paint, because you can paint over your mistakes. Since you have red on your brush, you can, I'm laughing at my husband's comments on his video game in the background. But anyway, you can, since you have red on your brush already, just go back into your hydrangea and on the edges add some more red randomly and purple, burgundy. So if it blends into that blue, it's okay. It's pretty, like flowers in a vase run into each other. You can leave your background white or you can put yellow in the background, but it's too wet right now, so I'm not going to do that. Wipe off your brush with a paper towel. I'm going to get a clean one. Paper towels are my favorite thing because I can just wash them off without having to wash all the brushes later. Just barely, just run them under some tap water. Okay, now we're going to use green. Doesn't matter. If you don't have green, just mix yellow and blue and white together and make your own green. I'm mixing my green with a little bit of white. I think this is sap green. It's not as harsh as some of them, so I like it. And then I'm gonna get some water. We're gonna give an illusion that the stems are in water, right? So it needs to be the background of whatever your clear vase wall is. Mine's white right now. I might leave it white for time's sake. So use your green on the tip here and just start randomly putting in stems. So like I did here. So what direction you think? Like this one's pointing this way. So I think the stem would be coming down this way, right? So I'm barely touching just using the tip here. And then I'm gonna bring some more down. If you're good flower arrangers, you know, you clip the bottom of the leaves off so they don't get in the water. But my grandma taught me that. I used to arrange flowers with her. For her church, I used to make all the displays and bouquets with her. And these are random. You don't have to do your stems like I'm doing. And that's it. And yours might, maybe you want some leaves to be hanging down here on the side. And to cover up those black lines from the marker, and have some more up here. You can add some maybe here. It's whatever your interpretation at this point. But I'm just using the tip here to make the leaves. And that's it. Allergies. I went outside and ever since I went outside I've been sniffing. So that's what we have already. See how far we've come? Okay. Now I'm going to take my brush and wipe it off with the paper towel and put it in water and wipe it off again. Thanks for painting with me today. I am available weekends in San Jose, Santa Clara County, San Mateo County for paint parties. So since made my background table red when I really hadn't intended to. I'm gonna use this peach I already had out from something else. And yellow I had out from something else. I might mix the yellow and the red and make a like pretty orangey background. I tend to do that. I did that here, and with my coffee cups, I just like that red, orange, peachy combination. It's really pretty. So at this point, you could stop if you wanted to, but I think it needs some shading. I mean, you could stop on the background. We still have to put the stars in the flag, but I'm gonna mix some yellow here with cadmium red, I think is what I have, and white. Why is the white always gone? I use a lot of it. So I made this pretty peachy color that I always make. It's like my signature thing. Someone pointed out that I do that a lot. So I'm going to go in here and just start putting in the background of red and yellow. I'm painting around everything else. You don't have to. You could leave yours white. And then also this way, if your flag isn't straight, you can clean it up by negative painting. What I mean is painting over any red you messed up. Just put the orangey color on back, on top of it, and make a background. What I like to do is crumple up a paper towel, get it wet a little bit. My granddaughter likes doing this with me. Yes, Miss Angie has a granddaughter. And then my granddaughter, who loves to paint with me, we just dip the paper towels in whatever we made up, and we make our background and just randomly put color on it. It's just so fun. So I'm going to do that now. We'll dab around here because I'm going to mess up your nice petals and things. And this gives it a nice background, like if it's on a table and painted and the light's coming in and you have a pretty patina or something in the background. I really need to travel soon. I would love to go somewhere like that where just music playing and pretty patina backgrounds on the wall. I'm just dipping it in the light pastel colors and making a random background here. And when I get too close to the edge, I'm gonna dab over here and blend it with the paper towel. See how just blending with the paper towel randomly just kind of works? Yes, I messed up the green, but I'll just highlight here. That's actually pretty. Don't go into your vase yet. You can go into the edge of it. I'm gonna turn this into a shadow actually. Now I'm just gonna pour some white on because I messed up. That's why I like acrylic, it's forgiving. And I messed up a little bit, so I'm gonna put the white here. That's why I like with these, you don't ever know what's gonna happen. And that's why I keep paper towels handy. I'm negative painting away the mistakes with white. Painting those mistakes away. Okay. That's not exactly like the other one, but it doesn't have to be. It's really pretty, actually. So I'm going to get a little bit of white and burgundy. Actually going to come over here. And just use the paper towel to paint what it wants to do. Not going into the vase because the vase is going to be clear for a minute. And then go in little circles around the edges of the blue and actually blend the flowers in. Because in Impressionist paintings, you see that a lot, right? That's what's going on. If you're on a canvas, yours is probably going to look more like this right now, like my earlier one, but right now we're on paper. You can use a pizza box. I've painted on wood. You can do anything. Like, you don't have to get all these expensive supplies. I mean, we're painting with Q-tips, makeup brushes. Just be creative. I mean, things are expensive right now, so it's fun to me to recycle and use what you can around the house to paint with. So, I am going to use a clean, you can use a clean Q-tip or a flat small brush, and white, and a little bit of orange, and go in between the green leaves. So it looks like the vase is in behind the wall. Like you can see through it is what I'm saying. So since the green should be dry, if your green isn't dry, like I just thought mine isn't all the way dry, you can still go around it because you would have reflections of green anyway in the water sometimes, right? Usually I would wait for this to dry, but I'm trying to speed things up for you guys. Won't burn your barbecue or whatever. You're painting with your kids, you can pause it or eat or whatever. Nothing has to be perfect. We're just learning how to have fun on the 4th for free. I don't know if you guys can see that. The light changed a little bit. So now, so we can define the vase, I'm going to put some more white on here. And I'm going to grab a small brush. If you have a detail brush, that's fine. Or you can use the tip of your brush here and dip it in white even. I paint with all the sides of the brush. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of white on here and use this edge. And we're going to go in the vase. You can see it better on here. You're going to go all the way around the vase with white, and then you're going to make a straight line where you have your stems. And if your vase got lost in the flowers, just go on the outside, barely touching the canvas, just barely touching, and go down because you're acting like this is the side glass of the vase. There would be a curve there, right? So we're or just barely touching it like this motion and painting in the vase on top of the flowers. That makes sense. I ate too much barbecue. Hope I'm making sense. Then we're gonna make a line here and go across like I did in this one. Just a line across where your water ends. And I'm gonna add a little more white. See the white's coming from here. And we have a little line of water down there. If you mess it up, you can add rain. I just messed mine up. So I'm gonna paint some of my stems back in. I'm gonna add some stems here actually. There we go. You can lighten up your green too. So mix light green, white and green, and go back into your leaves. So it looks like light reflections, and you're barely touching the paper or the canvas to give that illusion. My line's too thick, so I'm gonna probably just make the line a little thinner by adding leaves. Okay, so depending on what colors you used, yours might look a little more like this one. And on paper, it's a little different, so it's kind of hard for you guys to see, I think. So now you can keep working on your flowers if you need more contrast. I am going to wipe this off. And I'm going to use the same brush we were using. And actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to use the same brush we're using, but I'm going to use the tip of this. Or, better yet, if you have an old pencil that you're not going to be using, I'm going to dip this old pencil in white and make the stars for the flag, because that's what I did here. So I'm diagonally coming down. This one I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I just kept going around here. Doesn't have to be perfect because the flowers covered it up. Just enough to look patriotic. So I'm just dipping the tip of the pencil, wiping a little bit off, and making tiny stars. So I'm just going to do 1, 2, just like you would make an asterisk, I guess is what I'm trying to say. With the pencil tip dipped in white. This is impressionistic. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're celebrating the 4th our way with our kids painting along. It'll be fun, right? So just dipping the pencil and making an asterisk for these stars. Okay. Now, if you still have white on your pouncing stencil brush or your Q-tip, and you need to touch up your flowers, you can. But first, I'm going to use all white with one of the pouncers or a Q-tip and use the side and go underneath the red and make this a little whiter here. Get rid of the drawing lines that I did. If you mess up like I just did, you can go back in with the red. That's why I like acrylic. You can always go back in. And yeah, I'm going to use some more white and go back into these hydrangeas a little bit for more contrast. You know, a Q-tip or after the blue is dried, go on the edge and add some more. And on this one, I want some light contrast by that flag here, right? I'm going to add some blue, cover up my flag mistakes. So your painting should be coming along. I'm going to grab some white and make a shadow like I do with my coffee cups. If the light source is coming from this way, then your table would be light there. Thank you, Bob Burridge. Got that idea from him. I love watching him. I'm intuitive. I mean, like, I don't ever know what color I'm gonna do or whatever. That's why I like this. I'm not cookie cutter. I like mixing it up. You can cover that line that you drew with anything right there. And your water, since I still have blue and white on here, I would go in and we can do circular here with your water. This is the part where, oh, Miss Angie's losing her mind. No, it's impressionistic, so you do your interpretation. And this doesn't have much water on it, so you can do what you want here. I'm gonna actually get a paper towel and rub this in. I'm blending it in so it's not choppy. So I'm basically done. You bring this in a little bit so you can see better. So it's funny how you can paint the same thing, but it comes out a little bit different. So after you're finished, you can go in, add more highlights to your hydrangeas, clean up the flag there where you might need to. And then don't forget, I use a thin Sharpie because my grandson dried out my Posca pens. But anyway, and sign your name in the corner. And hopefully you came out with something like this. Thank you again, Steph Maraca, for letting us use your idea. The painting stoof is her YouTube. I'll put it up later if I can find it. And have a happy 4th. Thanks for painting along. I am available on weekends, preferably Friday evening or Saturdays, day or evening for paint parties. from anywhere from 10-year-olds up to however old you are. No group is too small, and you can follow me, click subscribe, and I will be doing in-person painting parties at your home or in a park, wherever you prefer. And contact me this summer, like now, because I am booked for 4 right now. And I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for painting along with me. Bye.